Hey, how's it going, everyone? Brad Smith here with HealthLink. Today I'm joined with Alan Ritter, a top health expert in Philadelphia. How are you today, Alan?
Pretty good. Yourself?
I'm doing very good. Thank you for joining me. So, you're the owner of Produce Clubs, and we want to hear all about it. It sounds like really unique, and we're always looking for top health and top fitness and different things that are out there. There's so many different things out there, and I think yours is really unique. How you can help people get healthy, save money. So, if you could just tell the audience real quick who you are and what your business is.
My name is Alan Ritter, and I'm in the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, southern New Jersey area. I'm focused a little bit more these days on serving people in southern New Jersey. And what I do is I take advantage of my location. My location, literally where I'm sitting, is 7 minutes from an extremely large regional produce center that serves both conventional and organic produce to a very large area in this region. It's very large. So it's basically like a grocery store, except they sell cases. They sell a case of 100 apples, and they're not going to sell you five. So the obstacle to walking in the door and the obstacle that I overcame by just putting a simple ad on Facebook and saying, hey, there's cases of such and such at this location for this price. Is anybody interested in ganging up with me and putting a couple bucks in, and I'll go buy some cases of apples and lemons and oranges and a few other items, and we'll see what we get.
Right.
And I basically demonstrated that to a small group for a certain number of weeks, and then it just ballooned into a larger group. So what I do is I allow families who can't afford to eat even whole produce to eat more whole produce. That's step one, moving away from processed food into whole produce. Step two is moving from conventional produce to organic produce. And I drop the prices for organic produce. Now, there's two kinds of items that this wholesaler sells. They sell same as grocery store, same packaging, same
Yep.
earthbound label, same Olivia's label, same sleeve on your celery. All that stuff is exactly the same. They sell those items for prices such that I can offer. If you go to Whole Foods, you find sweet potatoes for $3 a pound. My everyday price on the same quality is $1.75. So I'm approximately 40% off. Just right away, you can look at that and say, oh, I can eat twice as many sweet potatoes as I ate before if I'm just pointing at organic. But if I'm shopping in the discount market, so these large distributors are going to have the problem that, okay, every Saturday and Sunday they get new stock in, which means the old stock is literally sitting there and they've got to get it out the door. Or they have boxes of dated salads and they got to get them out the door because the date's coming due. So what do? They basically discount them even further. So that box of sweet potatoes that I was selling for $1.75 a pound, I can sell for 80 cents a pound or 50 cents a pound. And right away, okay, you're looking at organic sweet potatoes, not for $3, but for a factor of 6 times less. That immediately enables people who did not have access to
Yeah.
have access. Reflexively, it also allows our club to address pressing issues like food waste, because these items, uh, in some of the markets that I go to, which are like the last chance markets, the next stop for those groceries is basically the trash. And so we're basically rescuing things from the trash. They're perfectly edible, but they're incredibly cheap. And it's just a matter of being near the conveyor belt. I mean, my location is I'm near the conveyor belt. Now, I'm not only marketing to folks in the Philadelphia area to come, to just go to produceclub.us. It'll take you to a Facebook page. But I'm also marketing to everyone else, literally around the globe, to basically say produce distribution is the same industry everywhere. It's the same
Okay.
industry in Amsterdam. It's the same industry in London. It's the same industry in Houston, Texas. This exists everywhere. You can find these deals everywhere. And if you need me to, I've helped people all around the United States to get started or to at least be aware of this. So that's basically what I do.
Now, I think, a lot of people want to go organic, or it's at least a fad, and people want to do that now. It's more popular. But the first thing I hear out of people's mouth is, oh, it's too expensive. It's twice as
Exactly.
expensive to go organic. So I think this is
Exactly.
very unique, and I'm glad that you're doing this and helping others do it no matter where they're located.
Yeah. So my suggestion to people is first go whole produce. Get away from processed foods and go whole produce, even if it's conventional, even if it's quote unquote on the dirty dozen list. That that apple or that pear or those cherries are a lot better for you than processed food, even if they've been sprayed with conventional items. Unless you have a specific sensitivity to one of the sprays that's being used, uh, I completely agree with Michael Greger of nutritionfacts.com, where he basically, or nutritionfacts.org, where he basically says eating whole plants is the solution to almost all of our health woes.
Okay.
And so the first thing you can do is you can step up to conventional, and the second information that I would offer is organic is sprayed as well.
Okay.
And you might have actually more sensitivity to the stuff that the organic is sprayed with rather than the conventional. And there are instances in which that is the case, where the side effects of the conventional spray is actually less than the side effects of the organic spray.
All right. That's great information. So I think somebody can really put that to use if they're watching right now. Now, we all have unique stories why we got started in different areas. What made you want to start this as a business or help others with this?
Well, I got into it from a self-interested perspective.
Okay.
I went raw vegan in April of 2010, and the amount of food that I suddenly started having to buy every second or third day, because you're basically eating like an amazing amount of food.
Right.
I was caring for my mom, who was becoming more and more ill, and I was basically her 100% caregiver. I had other people coming in, but I'm there all the time. They're there 4 hours a day or 3 hours a day. And I just looked at our bank account and I said, well, this isn't working. So I said to some of the young ladies who came in, does anybody have a clue or an identity or an idea? And one of them did. And just before Christmas 2010, we all piled in a car and went down to the regional produce center and took a tour. And I've been buying from them ever since.
Wow.
I started buying for myself, and basically said, "Oh, okay. Does anybody who's actually passing through my house, which is basically all the other folks who were coming to visit as caregivers, does anybody want any of this stuff? I can't eat this full 40-pound box of whatever." And they said, "Well, what's the price?" And I didn't want to make any money at that point. I just said, "Oh, it's $1 a pound." And they're like, "What? It's 3 times that much at Whole Foods." And I said, "Sure, it's $1 a pound." And then, like 6 weeks or 4 weeks later, I called the market, and my salesperson said, "Oh, Alan, I know you're into raw fruit. We got these mangoes here." And I said, "Well, what do you mean you got these mangoes here? I mean, you have mangoes all the time." And he
Yeah.
said, "Well, no. Instead of $12 a box, these are." And he's looking over at his sheet and he says, "How about $2.50?" And I said, "Well, what do you mean?" And he said, "Well, they're seconds." And of course, he laid out what seconds were and why he needed to move them. I mean, he had like, I don't know how many pallets. They never want to tell you how many pallets they have that are getting ripe, because that's sort of an informational liability. They don't want to let on what's going on. But I
Right.
knew that he had a lot of mangoes. And so I said, "Can you give me, 10 minutes to get an order together?" And I hung the phone up and turned to my friend who was helping with my mom, and she was a raw vegan. I said, hey, there's such and such. And she popped the phone and talked to all the people that she knew. And she turned to me and said, how about you get 150 cases? And so I called my contact back and I said, I'd like to buy 150 cases of mangoes. And he said, do you remember the price I gave you? And I said, I just don't remember. And he said, how about $1.50? So literally the whole raw vegan community from the main line up into Lansdale was basically partying on 15-cent mangoes, 15-cent organic mangoes
Wow.
that weekend. So
That's huge.
that was my introduction to what seconds are, and it's literally I don't even I go to the grocery store twice a year to shop for soap for my laundry and for my for my body. That's the only
Cool.
time I ever go. I don't go to the grocery store other than that, because
That's awesome.
I buy I buy everything that I eat and everything that, I don't know, 75 or 80 other people eat every week when I go to my grocery store, which
Right.
is I mean, it's, if you want to look at it like in an interesting way, I'm actually using 80 other people to buy cases so that I can eat some of it. So it's
That's
literally,
cool.
this is literally all about me, except I need, I'm sort of this parasite that needs 80 other people in order so that I can get some food to eat.
But you're also helping them along the
Oh,
way, which is
I
great.
know.
Yeah.
I would say we have a very symbiotic relationship.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. I like that story. We all get in the business to either help others or fill a need. So I think you're doing both. You're helping others with their health and also filling a need that a lot of people are probably looking for. So I think that's really unique, and I think this could help out a
Well,
lot of people.
I think everybody is really, really sensitive because they have a lot of fixed bills in their life. Rent
Yeah.
is fixed. Your internet is fixed. Your phone is fixed. All of these things are fixed bills. And then at the end of your fixed bills, you have food and entertainment.
Yeah.
And if you can literally, and then within food, you have processed food and unprocessed food. Processed food being not the greatest for you.
Right. Right.
So if you can literally change what things cost, and literally I change for people, I change what things cost, not by a small amount. I change it by a very, very large amount. In some cases, it's literally it's literally life changing.
Right.
For me, it's been life changing because I don't view I don't view the grocery store as being a viable place for me to shop for produce. I just it's just it doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, 8 years ago or 10 years ago, it might have made sense for me to go to the grocery store to buy produce, but it doesn't make any sense for me to go to the grocery store and buy produce. They
Yeah.
just don't have decent prices.
Okay. Now let's talk about. I want to real quick go into the Facebook group, and I know that's a good way for people to connect with you. Tell us
Right.
why. We'll make sure we post the link either above or below the video, depending on where people are watching from. But,
Right.
what's going on in the group, and is that the best place for someone to get started to start learning?
The best place, I gave you two links. I gave you Produce Club Americas, which is like the everywhere page, which is someone from anywhere, including this region, can join that and see basically what the experience has been. Get a lot of information from posts in there. If you are in the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, or Southern New Jersey area, sort of in my service area, you can go to produceclub.us, which will directly take you to the Facebook page, which is Produce Club PHL or something like that.
We'll post it.
Yeah, and or literally, if you just want to chat, if you want information from me, and there's two news articles in the local area that have been written about the club. you can contact me at ritter.alan88@gmail.com, because that's part of what I do, which is basically I'll look at a terminal. I'll basically Google your area, basically such and such area produce wholesaler, and I'll send you a little map with saying, hey, you might want to try calling these places.
Okay.
And then after you call those places, don't even go there. Call them, get their price lists, and then send me their information. And maybe we should talk, on the phone or via, or via Facebook chat, just to get you prepped and ready, so that you don't walk in the door. You don't walk in the door looking like I walked in the door the first time I walked in the door.
Awesome.
So that you know the lingo, so that you know that seconds exist, so that you know that you should be asking for stuff they're willing to do deals on, stuff like that.
Right. Okay, that's awesome, and that's some great information. And I hope everyone watching this. Thanks for watching, but I hope you really reach out to Alan, send him an email, join the Facebook group, so you can learn more. Whether you're in the Philadelphia area or anywhere, I think you can really help them out and help them learn the lingo so they go in there experienced and knowledgeable. There's
Yep.
nothing like going in somewhere not knowing much, but if you can go in, you know what to ask for, you know what to look for. I think that really helps.
There's a lot of good resources on the internet. John Kohler has a bunch of tours on growing your greens, or whichever YouTube channel. He's got tours of San Francisco. He's got tours of Los Angeles. I believe he has tours in Miami and maybe even Baltimore. So there's basically a lot of information out there which will get you started. But the end goal is, and this is realizable if you have a wholesaler in your area. This isn't fiction. You will be able to take your produce bill and cut it into a third of what it is now, if you are the person driving the car and buying. If not more, you will also be able to get more variety, and you'll be able to address the food waste issue by being somebody who's putting the food waste, it's not food waste. You'll be able to put that food waste in your mouth.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for that information, Alan. And I want to encourage everyone watching, we really want you to live a healthier life. Go organic, go whatever you need to do, but reach out to a coach, reach out to an expert that has done the research and that can help you out. And Alan, we definitely recommend you and anyone watching to check you out, and we'll make sure we post the links above or below the video. So thank you so much for joining me. Thanks for the information, Alan. I appreciate it.
Have a great day.
All right, guys. I want to encourage you to live a healthier life, and we'll see you on the next show. Thanks, Alan.
Right.